Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to my 31 Days of Horror in October, day 22. Now, today we're going to be talking about The House of Whipcord. This was the hint for the other Pete Walker movie that I was talking about a few videos ago. Now, The House of Whipcord is a 1974 film which runs approximately 102 minutes and, of course, is directed by Pete Walker. Now, he did The House of Long Shadows, Home Before Midnight, and The Flesh and Blood Show, which to me was kind of boring. That's just me. Now, this stars Barbara Markham as Mrs. Wakehurst. She unfortunately passed away on December 19th, 1983, at the age of 73. She was in The Lady Vanishes, Got It Made, and Airborne. It also stars Patrick Barr, who also passed away on August 29th, 1985, at the age of 77. He was in Octopussy, The Phantom Strikes, and Frightened Lady. And Ray Brooks as Tony. He was in Assassin, Tiffany Jones, and of course, The Flesh and Blood Show. Now, this also stars Sheila Keith, who was in Frightmare and a few of his other films. She was kind of a mainstay. Very talented actress. Now, this is from the UK, of course. And Frightmare was originally planned as a sequel for this because Sheila Keith stars in both. Now, let's get into the plot real quick. A French model, kind of airheaded, to me, airheaded, is in a club and she's picked up by a guy, and this just killed me. The guy said his name was Marquis de Sade. Get it? So she ends up going with him, and he wants to take her home to meet his parents right after they just met, which I thought was incredibly odd. So they drive, and she's just a bubbly idiot. Like I said, she was a model, a blonde, no offense, and, up for just about anything. He ends up taking her to a castle, which was a prison, more or less. And this is the House of Whipcord, more or less. And in this House of Whipcord is a prison. And it's actually kind of interesting because you have women prison guards, a woman enforcer, and you also have a man who is basically, from what you can gather, kind of senile, who is judging these women for just being who they are. I thought that was quite interesting. It was basically a place to punish women for being promiscuous or being unladylike, I guess, is what you would call it. Now, of course, it talks about this woman for a majority of the film, and she is basically tortured in this place. They weren't allowed to talk. They weren't allowed to, basically do anything, which is, it's kind of horrifying if you really think about it. And tried to escape a few times, and every time that happened, they got punished even more, and ultimately killed, as happened with some of the women. That's pretty much as far as I'm going to go. It does have more to this actual story, but I kind of covered it all in a nutshell. Now, here's where we had a problem. This almost didn't happen. I am a big fan of Shriek Show. Always have been. Most people who know me know this. And I remember my buddy Joe, the horror man, saying, I like Shriek Show. They put out a lot of good stuff, but I've had a problem with some of their movies, and it kind of turned me off to them in a way. Well, I had my first problem with a Shriek Show. After the 50, I think it was a 52 or 53-minute point, it actually shut off and went back to the title screen. So I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? I wanted to review this movie. I ended up, it had a weird glitch in it. I was able to finish the film. What I had to do was to start at the next chapter, which was, I missed like 4 seconds of the film. But what I had to do in order to remedy it was to start at the next chapter, and I was able to finish it from there. But yep, had my first problem with a Shriek Show, and I talked to my friend Joe, and I was like, well, what should I do? Should I buy another one? Because this actually came in a 4-pack, which has Frightmare, Die Screaming Marianne, which I already reviewed, The Flesh and Blood Show, and of course this film. And he said, no, I wouldn't bother. Every one that I've tried to replace, I've had the same problem with. I was like, okay, well, I'll just have to make a note on here. I can watch the movie. It's just a pain in the ass. So, yeah. Now, I gave this one a 7, and that is 7 smashed pumpkins. Kind of bummed out I had this problem, but I was happy that I was able to actually finish the film and do a review for you guys. Have you seen House of Whipcord? Let me know what you think. Do you have the Shriek Show House of Whipcord, and do you have problems with it? Let me know. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.